It is Wednesday, May 26, 2010, and I am here in Jerusalem, Israel, and I'm very happy to be here to broadcast to you, or simulcast, or whatever casting that I'm doing, or feeding you this line. I'm very happy to do it because I'm very happy to be the bearer of good news. You know, much of what I have done thus far has been to bring bad news, negative news. People really look at me and say I'm really negative. But I'm not going to be negative today. I have good news to tell everybody. And the good news is that the kingdom of David is being reestablished before your very eyes. God's promise to David is being established before your very eyes. God has said, the broken tent of David shall be rebuilt. And God has given it to me to reestablish the kingdom of David. And I am broadcasting to you right now from the Kingdom of David headquarters in Jerusalem, Israel. Now, this is the symbol of where we're going. And this is the symbol of how we're going to get there. And where are we going? We're going lamala. We're going upwards. We're going where the human heart wants to go. In every way, relationally, spiritually, financially, in every way, we want to go up. And the name of our organization, the name of the organization that I have founded is called Lamala. That's upwards in Hebrew. That's uppåt in Sweden. And in your language, it means the same thing. It means upwards. Now, what does the kingdom of David mean for everyone and for the world? Well, that's the exciting part. The kingdom of David means a world economic system based on real assets. Right now, the economic system and all the currencies that you have are based upon promises made by people that are known for not keeping their word, politicians. Now, God keeps his word. Whether you believe in God or not, if you believed in the concept of God, you would know that the concept of God would keep his word. Well, let me tell you something. There's not just a concept of God. There is God, and he has promised that a kingdom of David shall be reestablished over the whole world. And the economic system is based upon the hard assets that I'm sitting on right now, and that is the stones of Jerusalem. The Bible says that for stones we will receive iron. So why would the world want stones and give iron kilo for kilo, pound for pound? Why would people want to exchange iron for stone? Well, let me tell you why. Because in a new global alignment where countries are rushing away from the failed economic system, the failed United Nations democratic systems, when countries start to run away from these systems, what they will be running to is the kingdom of David. And people will want to build in their government buildings, in their synagogues, in their churches, even in their mosques, stones from Jerusalem. The third holiest place for Islam is Jerusalem. And yes, they will want stones because the stones of Jerusalem are worth money. And so we have the basis. There's only so much Holy Land to go around, and everybody wants a piece, and they're going to want a lot more of a piece as time goes on. And so we've got the firm basis for an economic system. We're going to have a Kingdom of David currency, and the Kingdom of David currency is going to be based upon the hard assets of Israel. That will be stamped and carved with special kingdom stamps, and we will receive the exchange rate, and create a whole worldwide economic system that will be honored by the world. Let me tell you something that has been going on for thousands of years, and for thousands of years there are enough people around the world who honor Jerusalem to accept that this is the Holy Land and that the land is valuable. And so this is what you're going to see as a real currency, a real economic system. Now, let's talk about the social global alignment. When you've got countries moving away from the lie of the United Nations, the lie that freedom and justice comes from democracy and the principles of democracy, the truth is freedom and justice have always come from the principles that come from above. And democracies were born out of those principles, out of American pilgrims who emigrated to America and began the whole democratic system known as the free world today, and that is based upon the biblical principles. And so as the democratic systems are moving away from their biblical principles, then what we're seeing is democracies are leading us to slavery, to financial bankruptcy. We are debating whether to put chips inside of cars. And what the kingdom of David is going to do is free the whole world. We're going to have a social system of justice that will compel justice all over the world to countries tied to the new alignment, to the kingdom of David. And countries right now, what we are doing to establish this kingdom is establishing roads to Zion that will ultimately lead to a pilgrimage to Zion. A pilgrimage to Zion is like a blood path to the heart. Maybe I go like this, to the heart. Now, the heart of the world is Jerusalem. Let me just point it out to you. Jerusalem is the heart of the world, and Africa, you can see, is the head of the world. And the head of the world, your head will do whatever your heart wants. And the good news that we have is this, is the heart is sending messages of love and awakening to Africa, to the head of the world. And the head of the world has its people all over the world. The children of slaves are all over the world. And the children of slaves from the farthest reaches of the islands, from the farthest reaches of the world, from the islands of Haiti, from Jamaica, they have been crying out for justice and for freedom, for recognition, for understanding, for respect. And Obama, and putting a black face on an evil world system, does not give them respect. On the contrary, the forces of darkness are bringing the world down and want to put a black face on it so they can blame the blacks. And yet, God is going to, by the black hand of Lamala, by the black hand of slaves, shall God lead the whole world upwards to freedom. And that will happen by Africa awakening. God doesn't care about color. God cares about his principles. God cares about his word, about justice, about truth. And Africa now is a fertile ground for justice and for truth. And the announcement of the kingdom of David, with a black Ethiopian on the throne of King David from the line of the Queen of Sheba, shall respect and shall justice be restored to the children of Africa and to the children of slaves in the diaspora, spread out all over the world. There shall justice be coming to you, and it shall come from Lamala. It shall come from above, and it shall come from Jerusalem, and it shall come to you, Africa. And you, Africa, shall lead the world to freedom, to Jerusalem, to justice, to God. And when you stand up, everybody else will sit down, for God is with you, Africa. God is with you. Now, I don't want to say too much. Too much is too much, and you've got to digest. Just the good news that I have told you today is that the kingdom of David is being reestablished before your very eyes, and Africa is going to lead and point the way from Jerusalem to Africa to you.